Welcome to the Rondo. We're back again after another week of Premier League football. Thank God the international break is over. It was killing me.
Thank God.
Yeah, but I'm joined today, obviously, firstly, it's your host, Marcus. Joined today by...
Raf's here.
Rahimi, United's finest, loyal to the soil.
Okay.
And Max, top of the league representative.
Top of the league. Chatting big, you know. Okay, cool. So today we're going to start off with the newest manager in the league, Ruben Amorim, at Ipswich. 1-1. What's your take? Is he that guy? Have you seen anything from him that's like, okay, going forward, I can see something there?
I see a clear style of play already, which is something that we didn't have under Ten Hag for an extended period. Clear sort of formation in terms of what he wants to set out and how we want to play. Whether or not the players can execute that or not, we're going to see in the coming weeks. So I think it's a bit early to say, is Amorim that guy? From what I've seen, the way that he speaks, I like his press conferences. I like the way that he delivers the message across. He's taken some pressure off of the players. For example, how he dealt with the Rashford situation, saying that the players were allowed to go away. I think it's stupid media narrative on United as usual to build pressure on us before we've even got anywhere. Similarly, as Marcus is trying to build pressure on us now, I'm too relaxed. And I'm going to wait for the next 10 to 15 games, see the way that our style of play develops, and then hopefully we can...
You can't be relaxed in 13th place.
Oh.
Silence.
No. I don't think it's silence. I think I'm going to label this as a maximum level of composure currently. So yes, we are in 13th place. But if you look at the current state of the table, 13th can turn into 4th in 1 game week, 2 game weeks. So I'm not too fussed about the position that we're in currently. It is horrendous. We are Manchester United. We should not be 13th at any point in any stage of the season. However, I'm aware that this is a rebuilding phase. I'm going to give the manager time, like I think every United fan should do, to progress his style of playing football. And I think at the end of the season, we're going to see something much better than what we saw today.
So you're hopeful then?
Yeah, very much so.
And yourself?
Yeah, I echo those sentiments, really. I think it's too early to tell what Amorim holds at United. I think everything I've seen so far is good. He speaks very, very well. His level of English is quite good. The way he kind of communicates and kind of holds a room as well is really good.
You can tell he's a young manager with the clothes he wears as well.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Very stylish guy. Bit more aura, as the kids like to say, compared to Ten Hag, who is a bit of a charisma vacuum. But, I think in terms of what I saw on the pitch today, I think the main positive to take away for United is we are much more compact centrally. That's been our issue for the past, 2 seasons now, is that we're very easy to pick apart through the middle of the pitch. So it was good to see Amorim identify that as a problem and find a solution very quickly, albeit that just coming from his natural setup. That is how it works.
I was going to ask you, do you think it's formation or is it...
It was 100% formation and tactics, so that's all down to Amorim and his setup. So all credit to him for that. Where I would say I'm a bit worried going forwards is that having watched Amorim at United now play this matches, I don't necessarily know how high the ceiling for his style of play is. It does invite quite a bit of pressure, and that in itself isn't the problem. I think what the bigger problem is where the pressure is invited. So whilst we are very compact centrally now, there's a lot of space to be exploited in kind of the half spaces and those inside channels. And it's a very flat back six. So there's not kind of any space to play wide for the opposition, which is good. But they have that kind of inside space just outside the box. And that's where the equaliser came from today. You saw there wasn't much pressure there. And Hutchinson managed to get the ball, turn and shoot.
So are you saying in modern day football, the formation itself can't reach the highest level?
It's not necessarily the formation itself, because I think every team uses a variation of a 3 at the back anyway. Yeah. City used it prolifically last season. So I don't think it's the shape itself. I think it's just how he sets it up with that very flat back six. So I'll be interested to see if he can be a bit more flexible on that. If that's something that maybe just arose today because, the fitness levels aren't there. Yeah. Exactly. And in reality, the players are meant to kind of step out and kind of go to their man a bit more. But we'll see. I think the big problem is kind of the athleticism in the United squad. Okay. And that he'll have to find a way to improve that throughout the season. And then those two wide players for United are going to have a big job on their hands. And I think that's where the big problem is in terms of our players not suiting that.
Who do you want the wide players to be?
I think it's hard because you have to get Bruno into the team, obviously. But I think in terms of those two positions, you need someone that's very...
Ahmad.
No, I don't even think it's Ahmad. You need someone that's very industrious. Because if you see what those
Or do
two...
you want Mason Mount here?
So that's where I was going with that, because if you watch what those two players have to do, they have to start narrow to receive the ball, but then when they defend, they have to shuttle out wide. They're basically wingers tracking back all the way, and then they have to go back in centrally to once we win the ball back to play. So it's a lot of running to do, and Garnacho, he'll get frustrated doing that. His ego's too much for that. Bruno will get frustrated. He wants to play in the middle. That's not what he should be doing anyway. Rashford, that's not his game. Xerxes has the intensity of a turtle. Yeah.
Mount done that for Chelsea.
That's the thing. So Mount,
in a 3-4-3 as well.
if Mount can get fit and kind of reach those levels again, it's the perfect position for him. And I see him excelling there. The question is whether we have Mason Mount or whether we have the ghost of Mason Mount.
So Raheem, you look disgusted when he mentioned Mason Mount's name. Like, what's the issue there?
I can't live in a world where Mount is our primary chance creator or our primary anything. I just can't. I can't.
But you was happy to live in a world where Ten Hag was our primary guy in charge of the club.
What, our manager? Yeah, because I'm gonna back.
Because you're a madman. You're a very mad.
Listen, I don't think you can judge much on Amorim on the pitch. All you can really judge is how he's talking and his team selection today. And I think it proved the team selection, the starting 11, how much Ten Hag butchered that squad. Because I just don't really know. There's no... If you're playing a three at the back, you've got Ahmed at right wing back, Mazraoui at right centre back, Dalot left wing back. The profiles don't really fit that. And obviously he wants to play that. And Ten Hag didn't play three at the back, but there was no identity to Ten Hag at all. So he's left him with an absolute
mishmash of a squad.
So given the squad, do you feel like we should be waiting to judge Amorim till he gets the players in that he needs for his system?
I think you can still judge him fairly based on what we're seeing.
Yeah.
But you just need to give him time to implement the style of play that he wants, and also understand in the back of your mind the players that he's been left with are not what he uses for his system and what he wants. And as soon as you understand that and you get past that, then you can look at the season. As United fans, I feel like we can look at the season more openly.
Yeah.
The good thing is you're literally starting from such a low level that
We can only go up.
There's no expectation.
We can only go up.
improve performance.
And I think the good thing performance-wise is like Raheem said, we kind of saw Amorim's style of play. It was very clear kind of quickly what he wants to do, how he wants to score a goal. I think the first goal, I think that's pretty much an Amorim goal on paper. So it's good to see that. It's good to see that happen so quickly. So you can see already that he's clearly managing to get his ideas across in a short space of time, which is only a good thing. The question is whether those ideas can take you there. I think from what I've seen, I think it's definitely good enough to get us in that top 4 space. Whether we can build on from that is...
There's quite a lot of teams
remains to be seen.
with,
Yeah, 100%. I'm not necessarily saying that for this season as well. I think this season is a question mark. It'll depend on injuries, if he can get the players fit, which I doubt he'll be able to. Like, it's an impossible task. These players have... some of them do, but most of them athletically are quite poor.
So what would you consider a failure this season from Amorim?
I think it's very much dependent on... It's very much dependent on what the other teams around us do, and contextually, I think if you very much take it fixture by fixture, I think like with Ten Hag, you can there's a space where we can finish, 3rd, 4th, win a trophy, but actually it's a bad season. You can, even though on paper it's a very good season. And then, I can see us finishing with Amorim maybe 8th, but you can see the blueprint of what he's doing, and you can see kind of the transfer targets he wants to get in, and if there's something to build from. So yeah, it's hard to see. I think it's a difficult task. It'll be a monumental effort, but we could push to try for top 4, I think. If he does that, you have to say, all right, there might be a manager there.
Fair enough. Let's go into a bit more specifics about the game. For me, my man of the match was Onana, United's goalkeeper. He's been on top form recently. Even last week, I put him in my team of the season as a goalkeeper of the season. It's not the goalkeeper we saw when he first joined United. I remember those Champions League games, the first about 10, 15 games of the season.
Single-handedly took us out of that competition.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
Awful. and he's changed it around. Like, what do you think the reason is? How's he gotten this good?
Come to me.
Either one. Anyone.
You go for it. Okay. I mean, you know, a long time ago, I may have.
Don't. You said it better than Alisson. Don't do that.
A long time ago, I may have exuberantly proclaimed.
How long ago?
Over exuberantly.
He was better than Alisson.
When they just signed him.
Before he had touched a ball for United, that he'll be the best keeper in the league. And I think quite quietly, he's having a season where he can potentially claim that, or top 2, top 3 at least. I just think with United at the start, it was adaptation, new league. Like mentally, it's very difficult to kind of go from. He's a young boy. He's gone from a completely new country. You know, he doesn't necessarily know the language well. It's hard, man. And I think we saw signs that there was a player there, but obviously the team was in a bad space, so that's going to affect your confidence. And goalkeeping is very much based on confidence a lot. So yeah, man, I think the signs were always there. I think he's always been a good player. I think the fundamentals were always there. And I think we saw a lot of impressive saves in that first season as well. And it's nice to see it all come together this season.
I think I agree with a lot of what Raf's just said. I feel like with Onana, firstly, I think being the Manchester United goalkeeper is one of the most difficult things. It's probably the most high pressure role.
Why?
I feel because if you make a mistake, it's highlighted to the maximum. Every mistake Sanchez, take Sanchez for example with Chelsea, yeah? He makes a mistake almost every game.
Every single game.
And how blown out of proportion is that in terms of the media in comparison to what?
Remember Onana's first game against Wolves?
His first
that
game
penalty.
against Wolves. Yep.
And then it was on Sky Sports News for a whole month.
Yeah, it was on Sky Sports News for an extended period. So it's the most scrutinised position and it's the most high pressure position. So he's come from a different country. He's come to the league. Obviously, he was playing at a high level already. He was in the Champions League final before. Mm-hmm. So as Raf said, he had all the fundamentals there, and it's good to see that he's got everything sort of going for him now. I also think for the period he was here, we conceded way too many shots. And when you concede that many shots on goal, you're bound to concede that. I look at the other top teams and how defensively they take the defensive sort of side of football as seriously as they do the attacking side. You hear man like Havertz saying he wants Saliba's defensive work.
Some of them are taking it a bit too far.
That's to the end of the spectrum. I don't want. That's to the end of the spectrum.
But there's a nice midpoint.
There should be a midpoint, right? And I look at the way that the Arsenal defend as a unit, and they don't even want Raya to have to make the save. The save should be the last resort, which is why you're in the goal. I look at Alisson. I look at Liverpool. You guys defend from the halfway line before you can even get a shot off to Alisson. Van Dijk would have crashed it on you. Somebody would have crashed it on you before you even get there. Or Konate's eating up the ground and sweeping the ball away from you. And I think when you're conceding the amount of chances that we were conceding a game last year and the year before, any goalkeeper in that position is going to concede numerous goals.
100%.
I think he's got the trust of the fans as well, which is a massive thing. There's not like this air of like uncertainty when he gets the ball or come in to claim crosses or whatever. And I think, like you said, confidence for a keeper at such a massive club is one of the biggest things, and he's got over that now.
I think that trust thing is so important, and I think it's important for him as a player as well, because he plays very much on the edge of things.
His emotions are on his sleeve. You can tell.
It's not even just on the ball. It's like he waits until the last moment to release the ball, which obviously is very risky, but we know he has that quality. So it's like even today I'm watching him, and every time he gets the ball, the opposition fans are there. You know that way, and I'm thinking, why?
What are you doing?
Why you're wasting your breath here?
He's going to be fine.
That's cold. I wish I had that.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
No, honestly, his
Every time
distribution...
Sanchez is on the ball, I'm like, oh, what the fuck's going to happen?
Like, honestly, his distribution on the ball now, I'm confident when he has the ball.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's going to lose it. If he does, he's probably sprayed it 60 or 70 yards. I'll blame the striker for not being in the position they should have been in.
Some of his passes are ridiculous.
It's honestly
unreal. His passing has always been ridiculous. I'm surprised about the high level shot stopping like we saw today. Like, what was it the chance in the first half where the ball was played in from the
lap?
That had to be a goal in my eyes. I don't know how he did it.
I expected the net to. My eyes are fucked. I thought the net had already rippled, like because the way that the lap hit the shot across him. I think the pass before that, by the way, was unbelievable. Whoever did.
But do you know what was so impressive about that save? It's the way he kind of anticipated that pass was on and positioned his body like diagonally, so he had covered that space, and then he had his right arm out ready for a shot, and it was just
very good.
Fundament technique wise, it was just such an amazing stop, and it's like just on that stop alone, it's like he's up there. Do you know what I mean? It's like just being able to do that is brilliant.
He's not yet Alisson yet though. Let's give it some.
Listen, where's Alisson? Where's Alisson?
He needs years of consistency before you can
Hey.
start calling him Alisson.
Oh, a bit like Salah and.
Let's not. Oh, okay.
Do you want to get into that conversation?
You just said consistency. I know Hazard went missing for a couple of years.
Okay. Has a years of consistency. You're not going to draw me in. You're not going to draw me in. Anyway, yeah. Let's move on from United for now and go to the second game of today, which was Liverpool scraping past Southampton. Is the title race over?
Nah, it's not over yet, but we're edging towards that next week.
You think if you beat City, it's done?
80% done.
But I saw a stat the other day that said no Premier League team has ever come back from an 8-point deficit.
Yeah, and when you consider obviously what City are like at the minute, you can't see them putting a run together at all. The only thing I think is that this Liverpool team isn't perfect, and we're seeing that with some performances today. Very lackluster. I wasn't too impressed with the performance, but when you're in this stage of the season in terms of trying to gain points advantage, we got the job done. Made Southampton look better than we should have. Whether that was tiredness from the international break or a lack of sort of composure, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but today got the job done, 8 points clear, and I'm confident that the title will be coming to Anfield. I say that. 80% confident though.
You see this Liverpool not being perfect narrative. I don't know how I feel about it because I think we're judging them to the standards that we've seen over the past few years with City, Liverpool, and then what Pep's done in Spain and how dominant Madrid and Barca have been there. But when I watch Liverpool, it just reminds me right now of like how we used to win leagues under Fergie. It's like we'd have these games all the time. Like we'd go to a team that's kind of in the relegation zone or whatnot, and they'd have the game of their lives or whatever, or they'll dig deep, but we'll still win. And I think there's nothing I've seen so far that suggests that they can't keep this going.
I agree with you to a certain extent. I agree with you. The difference is back then, whilst you might have these games where you go to a bottom of the table team and they show some good form or whatever or whatnot, you would always have that one performance you see from a team where you're like, yeah, this is title winning quality. United always did it. 1 or 2 performances a season, you see it like, this team is going to win the title.
Yeah.
I've never seen that from Liverpool. I've seen them get the result. I've never seen a performance that's been dominant from minute 0 to minute 90, and I'm like, yeah, that's a title-winning team. That's what I'm waiting for to see before I can.
But United never really had those 0 to 90 dominant performance. We'd have a few, but they'd mainly come in the Champions League, to be fair. Like those Roma games and whatnot, or Milan every now and then. And then Liverpool kind of had one recently.
That was our best performance.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It just kind of reminds me of that. And I think the league is in a similar state to kind of where it was 05 to 010
It's
times.
very tight. It's very tight.
It's quite tight.
What I'd say as well about Liverpool, I don't understand this whole narrative of them being perfect. Liverpool have never been perfect. I actually like Liverpool's style of play because they allow opposition to. Liverpool can see chances as well. They're not this perfect team
not
like
City, like,
It's not City like, which is why I preferred the contrast
I've seen
between
perfect performances under Klopp before. It might have been a bit end to end, but the way Liverpool
Control the game
and broken down teams, it's been spectacular.
But I've also seen numerous performances like we've seen today where Liverpool just get the job done.
Of course,
you have Salah.
100%.
Where especially I think the year when you guys won the league, numerous fixtures, you guys were getting peppered by the opposition.
I remember that.
I used to think, and this is when I used to start praying on Alisson's downfall, because I used to think that he was invincible. Because if you get past the block that was Van Dijk and Gomez, whoever it was at the time, and you link Alisson, he's not letting the ball get past him. So this has been a recurring theme for Liverpool.
Yeah.
It's not a difference to me. It's not a massive difference to me.
I can't remember which season it was. I think it's the one where Liverpool nearly went unbeaten, but then they still lost. But they put up 90-something points.
It's the one where the guy pissed around the stadium and stopped people from scoring.
But I remember that, and I remember watching Liverpool the same way, thinking first half, like, they can't win this game, surely not. And then they pull it out the bag somehow. It gets to the point where you're like second third of the season, and you're like, yeah, they'll just keep doing this still.
And that's exactly why I think, like what Max said, he's confident about Liverpool winning the league now. Who's to say that they're not going to keep doing this as they've been doing in previous seasons? Every time when Liverpool are good,
do this,
I didn't say that I think they're going to win. I'm just saying, who's to say that they won't continue to scrape pot and get these, because they do this every year. every single
From
year
what
they've
we've
been
seen,
good.
the
They
probability
do it
of
every year.
that, from what we've seen so far, the probability of that happening is far higher than the probability of Liverpool dropping off.
I always
from what I
believe,
see.
even though they're scraping past, even though Liverpool of the past might have been scraping past 5-6 games, there'll always be one game where you're like, yeah, that's
I still think
quality.
that's to come this season.
yeah.
I think,
And I'm waiting for that.
yeah, I think next week could be that.
If
'Cause-
you guys put 2-3 past them,
Yeah,
oh my.
that's
just
that's
a
the nail
serious
in the
No,
coffin.
that's a serious.
That's a statement. That's a
Yeah.
statement victory. If you put 2 or 3 past City next week, are you home or away?
Home.
Oh my God.
But I think on today's performance,
godforsaken stadium.
I said they make it 6 losses in a row. He might lose his job over that.
on today's performance, it actually was a very Klopp-like performance, which is what Slot has been trying to eliminate. That end-to-end basketball. It was a basketball game today, which is what Slot does not want at all.
Making Armstrong look like
Yeah,
Shane Long.
I mean Konate and Van Dijk, they've been immense all season, but today something wasn't right, and that's what I mean. Whether it was sloppiness or complacency.
You know what I think it is? Apart from the last international break where you played Chelsea right after, the one before that, when you came back, you lost to Nottingham Forest. And now you've had a very close game to against Southampton. I feel like coming back from international breaks, Liverpool haven't been as resolute as we've seen them in other games.
No, that's true. That is true.
Job was like today. How did you think about it?
Better, much better, because he done well out of possession today, which is what he always does. But finally, we had a bit of end product. That finish was decent. I didn't know he actually had that on his left foot, but we need to see more because he's only scored 4 Premier League goals since he joined, which ain't good enough for Liverpool's number 10. And we know he's got the shooting ability. That's what annoys me so much. He doesn't show it enough. And today, posting in it, top finish. But I still think he wouldn't be probably in the main starting 11 for me. And Curtis Jones or Harvey Elliott to come back, of course.
Quick question for everyone. Was it a pen?
Soft.
I don't think it was.
No, I
box.
think it's definitely a foul.
Yeah.
What I don't understand, and this is just a case of the technicalities of the rules, I don't understand why if the foul occurs on the line, why that counts as being inside the box. Because in every other aspect of play, the line doesn't demarcate the end of the field, it demarcates the boundary. For example, a
The
goal
balls on the line is still in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For it to be a goal, it has to be fully over the line.
line.
For it to be a corner, it has to be fully over the line.
Okay.
So I don't understand why for it to be a pen, it can
doesn't
just
have to
be
be over
on
the
the line. In my head, if you're being consistent with the rules, that would count as being outside of the box. But it just comes down to a technicality, whatever's in that FIFA rule book, innit?
I wasn't too mad because I think I prefer to look at ourselves. That was our fault.
Okay.
Like Van Dijk dribbling out. I've never seen
That
him
was
dribble
crazy.
out. Why was he doing that? I don't know. And then Robertson was rash with the tackle. But if you look at the point of contact, I think the point of contact is actually outside the box. So I'm not too mad about it. I prefer to worry about ourselves. I think Lallana could have potentially been sent off as well, which is
Oh, yeah, the first
a worse decision for me. So I wasn't too mad about it. Is what it is.
I think with Liverpool today, and you just touched on it, Van Dijk dribbling out of the box, and you've never seen him do that before. I feel like you guys thought Southampton were too dead. So anyone that's played football, you sort of understand this. Like when you were a kid and you're playing against a team that's just significantly worse than you are, you're gonna do things that you wouldn't normally do because you can.
Yeah.
So Van Dijk is just on a level.
You think that
just
happens at the high level?
Yeah, like he,
100%.
no, it definitely does.
100%.
It definitely does. Like I've seen it happen with
Think
United.
about
I've seen it
how
happen
big
with United.
these guys' egos are. If you're seeing like that Southampton lineup, you're thinking, this is a piss about
Doing
that.
it.
This is a kick around for us.
You know, on FIFA, where you play someone so shit,
Do you know what I mean?
chilling,
Yeah.
and then you're like 2-0 down, you're like, shit.
You set up.
Okay. Let's go to the other game in the title race. City's 0, Tottenham 4. What did we see yesterday? Like, what actually
I
happened?
saw Pep scratching his head so many times. It's unreal.
I saw the end
happy.
of the cycle.
Yeah.
I'm happy. All eras come to an end. My gaffer was right.
He was right.
He was right. You can't get onto him.
That was nasty.
You know, Spurs are the most confusing team of my life. I couldn't. Anybody that supports Spurs, maximum ratings to you because that is a roller coaster.
You know, a great man once said, with Spurs, will they, won't they? They weren't. And that was rough. So
But the crazy thing is, I said that last week. And this week,
And this
they
is
go
what they
in
done this
4-0.
week.
Yeah.
Next week they might lose.
yeah, that's the problem
That's
with
the
them.
thing.
What do you get from Tottenham?
You don't know.
You don't.
As a Tottenham, if I was a Tottenham fan, I wouldn't know what to expect from my team because
Yeah.
where do we go? We might finish 8th, we might finish 4th. Who knows?
4-0 is a smokage. Like
Fam.
they demolished them.
No, but
Dismantled them.
It wasn't even like a lucky. It was like
high quality
4-0,
football.
and there should be an inquest at your club after this defeat.
No, it was high quality football. Whatever, and even he predicted before the game. He said he's going to bring in Maddison, and Brennan Johnson will play a big part when he comes off the bench. He knew what. I don't know. Tottenham just have City's number. I don't know if it's that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
That's what my
that
brother
the
was
bogey
saying.
game or if it's
beat
that
them
Spurs
twice
are
this season
actually
already.
good. But
But what I want to say, I kind of gave him some props last week, but Kulusevski is such a baller.
Great player.
Ridiculous.
Such a footballer. I remember his first season when he came on loan from
Juventus.
Juventus. He's being compared to Saka.
Yeah, he was being compared.
Yeah.
He was balling then, but then the season after, he
dropped off.
Yeah, he dropped. We weren't seeing much of a player. I'm seeing that player back again. Like the way he can beat a player on the ball with no physical ability, like it's just immense.
That's pure football.
Pure football.
That's
Literally, it's
stupid.
just pure football.
Who was it in the group chat that said if he was blessed
was
with athletic ability?
it was me, yeah.
If he was blessed with athletic ability,
long.
he'd
Crazy.
be a crazy player.
He's a great ball carrier.
Yeah.
Like he transitions from inside their own half multiple times. I think the position change into midfield into the number 8
helps
has
him a
been
lot.
really
Yeah.
good. But Ange actually played him on the wing,
on the wing this game, yeah.
on yesterday. So we got to give Ange credit as well because Maddison wasn't starting the last couple of weeks as well, and he came in and controlled that game. He had Bernardo Silva
Even
on an
Basuma
absolute
played, I was
leash.
surprised.
Like, Madison was unreal, but I thought all the Tottenham were.
Do you know what it is with City? Is they kind of remind me a bit of like United under Ten Hag in that no. Let me just when you try and set up in such a forward, in such an attacking manner, and you want to take the front foot like that, and your quality is lacking in certain areas, and you have little to no physicality, especially in the wide areas, you'll get punished so badly, it'll make you look like a relegation level team. And I think that's kind of just where City are now. Their squad just isn't as great as it used to be, and they have glaring holes and glaring physical weaknesses, which is especially in their back line, which is a problem. And that's
But
what it
they are
is.
suffering from injuries though.
Yeah, sure, but fine. Their squad's not good enough, and that's what it is. They're coming to the end of the cycle, like you said, and that's just going to make them look so poor. But it's nothing like it's
Their
not
midfield is
inquest for it, John.
non-existent.
I
Yeah,
think
but they're just not good. Like who have they got?
Rico Lewis is a good midfielder. He just wasn't.
Come on, like we've gone from Rodri, Gundogan in his prime, Kevin De Bruyne.
When Rico Lewis came onto the scene, everyone was saying this guy is so talented. He
I
could go to
don't
the
care
top.
what they were
What's the-
saying. It
what's
doesn't
the issue
matter.
there?
Let's look at what we have now.
I've never really
they
thought that. Do you see that this Rico Lewis thing has always confused me? But yeah,
he's getting eaten up right now in midfield.
like, I don't think he's got the
getting
physicality. Yeah, he hasn't got the physicality.
I don't think
to
he
play
should
there.
be playing like
I
next.
think he can invert, so
Yeah.
he doesn't start there. He doesn't start there.
Oh, so
initially.
you think he should be playing as a
That's
fullback?
all right. Look at Walker.
That guy.
What?
Do you know what I mean?
Like when
Take
you
over.
talk about the cycle,
Werner talks
Yeah,
about
you
it,
talk about the
so-
cycle being like ending.
Yeah.
He's nicked.
And that's what I'm saying. Look, City can make a perfect move, yeah, and then Kyle Walker's just there sleeping and can't track back, and they'll look ridiculous. They'll look like Ten Hag's team on a counter attack. That's why they just need to get rid of certain guys, but
It's really strange. Pep's normally so good at recycling players.
I think
this
they're-
guy's done.
They're worried about they've got
On to
the
the
charges,
next.
innit? They
Oh,
can't
yeah.
they can't move as they used to move
can't
in
move
the
the way they
market.
I feel like he's tried to use the academy a bit more as well.
I mean, I don't
as of
think.
recent.
I think
Palmer.
his hand's been forced.
So he's trying to use the academy. Why did you sell Palmer?
Palmer wanted to start.
No,
He
but they're
wanted-
crying out for a creative specimen now. Look at Phil Foden, night and day. Cole Palmer.
Because when they
Lavia.
saw Palmer, they
Yeah,
was in the
Lavia.
mentality.
Another one. I even forgot about it. Another one.
When they saw Palmer, they're in the mentality of well, we can just buy whoever we want for 100 mil next.
Yeah.
Now they've realized they can't do that, and now they suffer like the rest of us.
They
suffer.
saw a 40 mil bid for a player who had like 5 Premier League appearances. Of course, they're going to accept it at that point.
I think Pep's style of football is literally all about defending and stopping the transition. And right now,
Yeah.
they
Counter-pressing.
literally
They can't do that.
at all. Like they are getting.
Yeah.
Gundogan is looking like an old age
He's deep
man.
Brady
Like,
looks bad.
Bernardo looks trash as well. The midfield balance is all off. And
Haaland was decided to miss every shot he
Yeah,
took. Which
but
was,
their defense, oh my gosh, Stones and Guardiola, they need to.
Stones
they
just
need
come
to,
back from injury.
It
so I'm
doesn't
gonna
matter.
give him
They
the
both
benefit
need
of
to
the
hang
doubt.
their heads in shame. Yeah, because it's not like we haven't seen this countless times before from Stones. Yeah, that guy is just. I don't know what he is. He's not a defender. Yeah,
You don't rate Stones?
no. No, he's lovely on the ball, and Pep found the perfect way to get something out of him.
About
But
2 years ago, people were saying he's one of the best centre backs in the league.
And he wasn't even playing centre back. Would you look at that?
He was playing right back.
He was playing right back defensive midfield.
No. So he played right back for the beginning of the
And then he played
season.
defensive
Then he played
midfield.
centre back who comes into.
Okay,
False
cool.
five.
And when he
Yeah.
plays centre back, who stays at centre back, we've seen for the past 10 years, he hasn't been that guy. Yeah, he was Pep's first centre back signing, right?
50
Yeah.
mil.
Cool.
Everton.
And how many 50 mil centre backs have we gone through since? Has Stones ever managed to cement his place in that team?
Injuries.
Injuries.
He's always in and out of the team.
Lovely,
Injuries.
lovely.
He's
And
not
then-
in conversations with some people
Yeah.
that Man City fans would put him in there with.
2 years ago, he was being put next to the Van Dijks, the Salibas,
No,
the
that's,
Diaz's.
Ayo did that. Ayo, off that one season,
I
said,
still
is
think
he
that's
an all-time PL great centre back? I said,
But he was phenomenal that season.
but he wasn't playing centre back.
He's a very, very good centre back, but he's not top level for me.
And then Guardiola, I don't know.
Guardiola's not a left back. He shouldn't be playing left back, in my opinion.
That's-
I know he's great going forward, and we've seen a lot from him this season. But defending channel's not the same as.
That's fine, but there's elements of defending that are just you should be able to execute all over the pitch if that's a skill you have. And Guardiola, he's committing very basic errors. He's not getting close enough to his man.
For the first goal.
Yeah, he's letting players take down balls that he should be challenging for.
switches off a lot.
It's just very bad from a £100 million player. And I don't care how good you are going forward. If you chip in with the odd screamer from now on, if you can't do the basics of your job, you have no business being here.
In terms of City, though, not to blow it out of proportion completely, they had a few chances and it could easily have been different. Fine margins. If Haaland
It could've been
scores one,
4-4.
if Haaland scores one of them, you get me. The game's completely different.
First
So-
10 minutes,
City
Tottenham
were
couldn't
peppering them. Yeah,
Tottenham
City
couldn't
were
get
peppering
that.
them.
They were
So-
half.
So again, we talk about City dropping off. What is really dropping off for City? Because that game could have ended completely differently to what it did, which was 4-0.
It's just the cycle coming to the end and momentum's going
But
against you now.
Everyone's saying that City are in crisis. Yeah, for me, they've lost their last 5 games. They're still second in the league.
I don't think they're in a crisis. I don't know what
They're
people are
still
talking
in
about.
I think the top 10 in the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean,
table.
it's obviously it's
they're
relative.
They're not in crisis. I don't think they're in crisis right now. Obviously, if they were to lose next week, it's a different conversation.
This is what it's relative. This is we're finally seeing domestically what people call crisis in Spain when it's Barcelona and Real Madrid. When they lose 2 matches and all of a sudden it's white flags.
Yeah, everyone's
and
going crazy.
what's that TV show that they got?
Oh,
They start doing nonsense.
Chicky.
Yeah, El Chingrito, whatever.
Chingrito,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's what
That's
we're seeing now.
hilarious, by the way.
It's the best. It's the best. But it's a crisis relative to them. But
not
and then
really a
when you
crisis.
add in the wider narrative of
crisis.
what's going on at City, it's bad. It's like you look at it and it's like what's positive to look at there?
I don't see this season as too dissimilar to was it 1920 when Liverpool last won the league. Obviously that season it was Laporte who'd been injured for the whole season. This season's been Rodri, and the same way that Liverpool are just picking up the points, getting on with it. It's the same way they were doing back then. And City's look like okay, cool. They have a key weakness in their team and they don't have any way of solving it.
But the problem I'd say there, it's not just the case now where it's just one player. Cool, Rodri is a big part and they're missing that. But then
They're missing his backup.
yeah, and then their right back's cooked. It's not an instance of he needs to come back from injury and then we'll be all right.
He's going to stay cooked.
He's
Their right
rubbish.
back's cooked. Their centre midfielder, the main creator in their
cooked.
team, has gone missing. Foden is missing.
He's ghosting.
I'm sorry, for somebody that was the player of the year last year, it's disgraceful.
Yeah.
Is what he's doing right now.
Can I ask you, is this the worst PFA Player of the Year defence ever?
Yeah, I don't even think he's. So I was of
through the
the opinion that he shouldn't have won it last year. I didn't think he was City's best player. I thought it was Rodri, and Rodri won the Ballon d'Or. So clearly Rodri was you get it. But obviously Foden, I think Foden near the back end of last season,
They give it-
he won so many games by himself.
Chelsea or Leicester?
That's probably why it was given to him. But
But he had everything set out for him. That's what I've always said about Foden. Like he needs all the
perfect.
elements.
He needs perfect.
Yeah,
He needs a perfect scenario to
to
perform.
flourish. Yeah. But De Bruyne came on for 10-15 yesterday. Key passes already. You're seeing the creativity. Bang.
Yep.
Foden ain't that guy, man.
He's not. Especially when you look at De Bruyne. That was a good point. De Bruyne was on for a fraction of the game, and he imposed it. But he did more than what Foden did for the period he was on the pitch for.
Two different
Stylistically,
calibers
they're
of
different
player.
players though.
But that's what I think City players and what people expect Foden to. The way that I hear commentators and pundits speak about Phil Foden, it's like he's a creative specimen that needs to be put on the ball
Yeah.
in his
Yeah.
in the De Bruyne. They talk about Foden like he is De Bruyne. That's how I see it. That's how I feel about it. And
That's
he's
what they
not.
expected from him.
That's what they expect from him, but that's not what I
Him and
see.
Cole Palmer are the exact same profile of player.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think
no.
Palmer's.
Palmer's got 10 times more creativity.
I think
No,
Palmer's
he has
creative.
he has a more.
He's got a pass. He tried.
He's better at it, right? But their profile is the same. They're forward line players that you want them to shoot. They're fine watching players. They're not playmakers.
Yeah. Okay, you could be a playmaker and be a financial player.
Cool,
Financial player.
cool,
sorry.
but they're not.
I think Palmer has some
He's
playmaking.
maybe borderline maybe.
For example, the Porto and Neto.
That's nice stuff. But you have to be doing that 3-4 times every game to be a playmaker.
You want him to be an Odegaard, basically.
I don't want him to be that. If he wants to be a playmaker, yeah, sure.
So obviously Pep has signed a, I think, 1 year extension, possibly a 2-year extension, depends if it's triggered or not. So they're giving him the rebuild job on City. Do you feel like that's the right idea going forward? Should they have done that?
They should sign him for 20 years.
I hear it. I don't see it that way though. That they've given him the rebuild job.
Obviously.
I think the 1 year contract is just it's more of the same. It's just a holding. It's just to see what happens really, I think. Because wait to see what happens with the charges. Do the charges kind of get settled this season or next season? I don't think you can see. It's a 1 year deal. It's not a commit. He hasn't committed to anything. It's still a question mark.
He's making it 10 years at the club.
Yeah, fine. But I think it's them the club and Pep coming to an agreement to say, can we just all wait and see what happens and then we can decide what's going on.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a statement of intent at all.
I think Pep kind of came out and said he was thinking about leaving. This is last season, but the mess that they've got in, he feels responsible to turn it around, which is fair. But
He has spent the majority of his managerial career at City.
Yeah. It's like Klopp staying the extra year.
People don't realise that. Yeah. Like people
Why
think
are
of
you doing
Barcelona
that to our
as
league?
Pep's
Why
team,
though?
but
You didn't ask.
City is
Yeah,
Pep's
like
team.
we didn't want this.
League Two, Pep, Haaland up front.
It'll be
Soon
nice to
come.
see. It'll be nice to see. And I don't think he stays until he'll definitely finish this season. Might stay for next season if the charges don't get
Re-sign the
sorted out.
contract, though.
No, I'm saying, but if say this summer, right, the charges come out and City get obliterated and whatever, he's gone.
leaves.
He's
You
gone.
reckon?
And that's the point of
Even if he signs the contract.
But that's the point
He
of a
can't-
1 year
he
deal.
can't
It's that
manage
financially,
he can't
but,
manage League
but
Two.
that's why it's a 1 year deal because it's easy for both of them to let go of each other. Pep doesn't. If Pep wants to
payout's a
quit,
lot less.
and if City want to sack him, the payout's minor. Do you know what I mean? And then if Pep wants to leave and City don't want him to leave, it's only 1 year that he has to stay out of management.
A manager of that level cannot be in League Two.
No, I don't
Or
expect
whatever
why
it is.
not?
Or whatever it is.
Why not?
Why
not?
can't he be in League Two?
Let him stay there. Let him rot.
for-
Let him rot. Let him rot for everything he's done to our game. For the way he's infected it and ruined it with his culture. For the way, let me not even make accusations of illegal activity. I'm just gonna say them drip doctors are very good at what they do.
Anyway, so we've spoken about City, we've spoken about Liverpool. Obviously, Arsenal won 3-0 this weekend. Are they in the race? Are we still counting them? Are we still talking about them?
Yes.
They are in. It's literally like they have to go on an insane run right now, and
They got
hope,
good fixtures though.
and hope Liverpool probably lose next week. I think the main thing about Arsenal is they had to see a performance this weekend, and from what I didn't actually watch the game, but from watching the highlights, it looked like they were actually creating loads of chances. Creativity was back.
Saka's
Odegaard,
finishing was
ridiculous. And I think that Saka Odegaard connection is just
Beautiful.
it's next level.
It's telepathic.
beautiful.
It's so
They
good.
really missed having that partnership in their team.
They make the entire team tick, just the two of them. You can give either one of them the ball, they're going to do something with it. It's a wonderful feeling. I haven't experienced that in a long time.
Don't sleep on Ben White's contribution.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna
he's
say,
another
yeah.
one. He's another one.
But I think that's that
trio.
three
That trio,
carried them that first time they
It was-
challenged for the
it was
league.
Timber recently. If you
No,
didn't-
but
No, I'm
a
saying the
couple of
first
years
time
ago,
they
it was
challenged for the
White.
league,
First time,
that's what
okay.
carried them. And then I remember after season after he tried to put White back at centre back, or he kind of took Ben White out the team. I remember for a little while, and I was like,
At the
why?
beginning.
At the start,
Yeah,
yeah.
at the start, and I was like, why are you
Gabby
breaking
put
that
White
up?
centre back, yeah.
Yeah, and I was
Gabby
so
worked.
confused as to why he kind of broke up that
He
dynamic.
wanted Partey to invert from right back for a bit.
Yeah, but why? That's the dynamic where all your goals are coming from. Like, why?
What White does that is amazing, his timing of runs is perfect. He always times his
Yeah.
runs, either the underlap or the overlap, so that Saka or Odegaard
Yeah.
gets enough space to do whatever they need to do. I think it's perfect. He offers himself up as an option, and his delivery normally is good. He does the stand up to the back post. He does that quite often.
It's the timing of his pass
the-
as well. The
yeah,
way
he's
the
very
way
good.
he
He's very
angles
good.
his body as
This
well
is
to make it
interesting.
look like he's gonna do something. I've always
Yeah,
said,
no, I think he's
he's
very
the one
good.
player I take at United from
I,
Arsenal.
I wish that he hadn't done the whole I don't want to play for England thing. He's better than Walker.
Facts.
He's better than him.
That's interesting because a lot of Arsenal fans have asked for him to be like, even though he's injured right now, but have asked for him to be dropped full stop for Timber to come.
I find
in
that strange.
and
No,
they feel
but
like Timber's the better
Because Arsenal
right
fans are
back.
silly.
Timber is also very good, but Timber, I think, inverting from left back. Timber's best performances for me have come when he's played at left back, not a right back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, but that's just me objectively looking at Arsenal fans. You lot probably
But
know more. You
also,
watch yourselves.
Arsenal fans get fooled by nice touches, so they think if you control the ball in such a aesthetically perfect manner, you must be the best player in the world. So they see Timber stop the ball, trap the ball with his studs, and they go, yes,
what we want in our
let's replace Ben White. But I think Ben White's one of their
very
best
good.
players, man.
He's very good.
He's such an intelligent footballer as
He's
well.
out for a while. I think.
Is
Like
he?
3 months.
Ah, that's a shame.
surgery.
That's a blow.
That's a shame.
It's a bit of a blow, but
3 months.
yeah, I think he had surgery. I think he was putting it off for a while, and they finally got
Again,
it done.
he genuinely dies for the team. Like,
Yeah.
it's funny because you hear all these reports about him not liking football. You think that guy, he probably cares the most in terms of, he's the one I always see ready to fight as well. If something happens to any of the other Arsenal players,
he's ready
he's
to
the
back
first
it.
person
Yeah,
there ready
No,
to
he's
fight.
definitely got anger issues.
He's got no, but that's what you need. You need people like that.
Yeah,
he's gonna die for his teammates.
yeah. But he lives for the fight.
No, he does. He does.
wants
He probably
it. He's
loves
looking
it, but-
for it.
Yeah.
Him and Roy Keane on the same thing.
So, what do you think Arsenal need to do to obviously bridge the gap between teams above them?
It's hard for them.
I don't think it's that far. I don't think it's that far. I don't think it's as.
It's 9
I think,
points.
I think no. Obviously, it's 9 points, but so City beat Liverpool next week. Arsenal win. What? That's 6 points. Have Arsenal been to Liverpool yet?
But this is
No.
this is the thing when you do these fantasy permutations. Yeah, it's that you always do it based on the team you're talking about. Going
Oh yeah,
on
I'm
this
gonna, yeah, no,
amazing
I'm
run,
gonna
and,
make
like,
it
the other
sound
teams
better than
dropping
it is. No, of
points.
course.
And
It's
Arsenal are clearly gonna keep dropping points here and there. Whether they
Why
do
do
it
you
at the
think
same
so,
rate.
though?
I mean, firstly, if you look at the past 2 seasons, yeah, they're not a team that they have their nice run, but
They go on runs.
they go on runs, but then they always do drop points in quite embarrassing manners. It's just
Okay.
part of them. It's what they do, especially in the big moments. So that's gonna happen regardless. And their team,
Arsenal hate
bro,
you.
no, but it is like let's call a spade a spade. And then quality wise, I don't think their team is as good as it was over the past couple of years. So there's nothing. Yeah, I've seen nothing on the pitch that suggests they'll go on like 15 games
They're
unbeaten.
no
run.
pressure FC though. When the pressure's off, they'll go on. All right.
But their fans will put the pressure back on them, so it's fine. Don't worry.
Maybe.
They got a few games to. I feel like because they have the easiest run out of them, City and Liverpool. For the next few games, they'll probably pick up quite a few points, and we'll start to see it a bit differently.
Yeah, but then they'll hype up like the United match and make it such a big thing when they shouldn't, and they'll put the pressure on the players themselves. And
Are you backing United to win that game?
No, I'll take a draw just for an Arsenal season.
Okay, fair enough. All right, cool. Moving on. Obviously, in the rest of the league, I don't know if you watched any of the other games, but Palace without Eze.
Rubbish.
No,
Oh,
they turned up.
They turned
Did
up
they?
against
Turned
Villa.
up. They
Yeah,
turned up.
What's the score?
2-2. I think it ended.
That's the best probably
Okay.
they played this
Well, yeah,
year.
it's the
That's
best
nice for them.
performance.
No, that's nice for them.
Yeah, which I was surprised about. Villa have kind of gone on a little bit of a slump. They lost to who was it last week?
They've lost quite a few.
This was always gonna happen.
They got battered by Spurs a couple of weeks before. Before that.
I said this at the start of the year. This was going to happen to Villa because they have Champions League football.
Yeah, it's,
Like
So you
they-
think
their
Champions
squad,
League football is the reason?
their squad is like they look how much they give for every Champions League fixture. Villa aren't they
Yeah.
top? Where are Villa in Champions League? The Champions League table.
I think they're top 4.
They're top 4.
Yeah.
They were top at a period. They're giving their all, like when they play those Champions League games, they're putting 115%
Yeah.
into that game. So the Premier League games are ultimately going to suffer. The players and the crowd won't be able to get up in the same way that they do for the Champions League games. It's different and it's difficult. So
But
It's like Newcastle last year.
yeah,
well.
yeah, similar.
I
sort
wouldn't
of
say
stuff.
their form. Okay, maybe in the last like three or 4 weeks has been bad, but at the beginning of the season they were actually still doing quite well.
when they didn't have Champions League.
No, on both fronts, on the Champions League and in the Premier League, they were doing quite well. I think this happens for Emery's teams in the season anyway. They always go
Yeah.
for a little lulls where they lose like 5 games in a row, and all of a sudden they turn it back on again. I don't think they're gonna have enough in the bag to get Champions League football again this season, though. That's my.
It's a tough ask.
Yeah, I don't think they have the squad for it. They have got decent players, but it's not.
Full Sport's looking interesting, to be fair. You've got Brighton, I think Brighton, Chelsea, Arsenal around the same similar points. Tottenham just behind. And you would think
So you put Arsenal in the top 4 race.
I think Arsenal will come third. I think City.
That's a top 4 race, no?
I don't know. No, I think it'll be like a top 3 and then a battle for 4th. And right now, I'd say Chelsea probably take it for me, but we'll see.
I think Chelsea take the top.
Yeah, I think Chelsea take 4th.
Chelsea did play Leicester this weekend. It was a 2-1 result, like routine win. Any of you catch the game?
Well, Faiz is one of the worst defenders I've ever seen.
No, what's he doing? He's doing keepy uppies.
He confuses me. I just don't know how he's.
But the
where he
Jackson
is.
finish from that was
The Jackson finish was elite. Took it with the outside. In fact, he flicked it over the defender's leg first, and then tucked it in the far corner, the outside of his foot. It was an unbelievable finish. Wout Faiz should be docked wages. Like, as in,
That bad?
just watch what he did. I don't even want to explain it, but he basically juggled the ball backwards from the midpoint of their half.
Why?
He juggled the ball backwards until Jackson got it. And
But
scored.
like on purpose or because
It looked like, and then he tried to do an overhead kick to clear it.
Yeah,
no,
it's
he's,
painful.
top level Wout Faiz. I don't know how long for.
said he lost composure.
He's
from Sionchuk to Wout Faiz. It's basically the same player to me.
I never rated that guy, man.
what? So intrigued.
Yeah. Because I remember, obviously, he was the replacement for Maguire, innit? And they tried to do, I remember the agendas they tried to run like, oh, United spent 70 mil on Maguire and then Leicester got the better guy anyway.
For the first few games,
No.
he was
No, he had
decent.
one good
Yeah, he was
season. I said.
decent.
No.
His first season,
No,
innit?
no. I've never understood it with him. I don't know. It's just because his head is wham. That's why I don't think he's a good defender.
Reece James injured again. What do you make?
I don't even want to talk about that
Nah,
guy. Like,
he's-
I think like it's done.
Blue Factory, man.
The fact
Could you
lady,
say it one more time, please?
the fact lady has sung it. It's done. Like it's happened too many times, way too many times. Like
What next for Reece James and Chelsea? He's your captain.
so, I'm not gonna ask for them to sell him or for them to push him out. I'm not gonna ask for that. But we can't see him as a key fixture in the team anymore. I feel like the team was constantly we're still waiting. Okay, Reece James is gonna come back. Reece James is gonna come back. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
you
Gusto. Reece James is gonna come back. He's gonna. We can't do that anymore. We've got a plan without him. If he does come back, he comes back. Great, and he's fit. If he doesn't, if we get a new right back in or someone or Gusto is our fixed right back and he excels in that position, it just has to be done because we can't keep waiting year after year. It's been since he hasn't had a full season since 2021.
Was that even a full season? How many games did he play?
No, he played. That was under Lampard and Tuchel. He had that full season when he won the Champions League. That was the only full season he had. Ever since then, he's been injured every single season. I think he's played 162 games for Chelsea. He's missed 154.
That's crazy.
It doesn't make sense. I know when he plays and he's fit, he's one of the best right backs in the world. But we don't see it often enough. So what's the point?
And it sounded like
sad.
quite a long-term injury from his Instagram. Like, I know they came out and said that it's just something, he felt something.
No.
but I think it's
He's not
a
going to be back
hamstring
until
again.
at least January or February.
That's genuinely sad.
How much is he on wages wise?
250.
See, that's the thing is you're not going to be able to keep him around.
He's
On
our highest paid player.
And your captain.
Let's
not forget.
Yeah.
no private
And he's on a long contract. as well.
private equity firm is going to look at that and say
No, Real
that's
Madrid,
a-
Real Madrid might look at that and feel like, oh,
No, I'm saying at Chelsea,
Oh,
the ownership aren't going to look at that and say we can keep him around.
so you think they're going to sell him?
They're going to have to make a decision on him. How many years left has he got in this contract?
5, I think.
5. You gave him a 5-year deal.
And captaincy.
More than
and
five.
captaincy.
Oh
I just
my
want to make
good-
sure people know he's the captain.
That is perilous management.
No, when we gave it,
How can you do such a thing?
when we gave him the deal, he
No,
was one of our
there's never
most
been-
important players.
No, because there's never been. I don't ever remember a time where I said this is not an injury-prone player. Like
What do you mean? When he won the Champions
since
League?
I've known, no,
Even
since
then
he's
he was
been on
injury
the
prone.
scene.
No, he wasn't.
He's been injury prone since he burst. It's
Bro,
practically since he burst onto the scene.
I don't know. I thought that the first 2 seasons of his career,
No way.
firstly at I think it was Wigan,
Yeah,
I don't
Wigan.
recall.
at Wigan, and then at Chelsea, he wasn't injury prone.
That's
He
when
played
you're
most
dying
games.
for it. At Wigan, he's not. You get me? You're dying for. You're getting to the top level. He's dying for it, and I think his body type is just letting him down.
I didn't wanna-
Unfortunately,
I didn't wanna
No,
say
no, no.
that.
I'm not even saying. I'm not even saying he's big. But for example, today I was looking at Luke Shaw. These footballers.
He's lost weight, though.
You know, and these footballers are in way better shape than most people ever.
Yeah.
Of
But
course.
in terms of the way that your body, the way that your makeup and your body type, it's a massive part in how you can stay and keep fit. Luke Shaw has a similar body type to Reece James, and I
Yeah.
see similar problems developing in both of them.
Usually, if you have recurring muscle injuries like
Muscle
that,
injuries.
it's a sign of you're carrying too much weight. You're putting your body under too much load, basically. Yes, I don't know.
Because I remember he was lean. When he
He
had
was
the,
lean
when he had
up.
the, yeah, when he had
With the dreads.
when he had the dreads and he first,
He's
yeah,
younger,
he
innit?
was lean. Yeah.
He'll be the ultimate what if player, I think.
Yeah.
Like generally.
He's up there. He's
Pogba for me in like recent memories the most.
But like
what if
injury
player.
wise, I wouldn't really say Pogba.
I thought
Pogba got-
if you were to
fair.
take away injury from a player's career, I feel like Reece James will be the best right back in the world.
No,
You know?
if you Ronaldo.
Right back.
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. I'm saying the most.
In general, okay.
Oh,
cool.
if
Of
like
course,
injury
of course.
player.
Oh, nice.
Eduardo.
yeah.
Eduardo.
Oh, stop him. He was
No,
never that guy.
No, he was cold.
Eduardo was.
What level
Eduardo was
is it?
cold.
What level are we talking about?
No. I'm saying in terms of what they could have achieved. I'm talking like for that season. If you isolate that season, I think
Yeah.
Arsenal would have done something
'cause they
crazy
could have
that
won
year.
the league,
Yeah.
maybe.
What he was unbelievable.
Yeah, man. Like that shout out to Birmingham. They will
What
always
they
have.
crushed
They
it.
will always have a special place in my heart.
That tackle was so
That
disgusting.
tackle was so nasty.
So disgusting.
And that's where we have our bonus topic.
But I remember that season quickly. That's one of the first seasons as a child. I remember thinking, "Hey, Arsenal might do it," you know.
Yeah.
They were cooking that season.
Birmingham, man, you rocked my world that day.
So we've got our bonus topic, yeah. The worst tackles we've seen in the Premier League.
Oh, that one's up there.
That
What,
of course that was
ever,
up.
yeah?
Yeah, ever.
The Luke Shaw one was up there. That was a
Which
horrible one.
one's this one?
Oh, when did?
Well, when
It was a
Luke Shaw
couple
broke
of
his
years
leg.
ago.
Yeah, the leg breaker.
When they snapped. I don't know who snapped.
It was
his
in
leg.
Europe,
I was
innit?
the video as well. Of it.
Yeah, that one was nasty. I remember.
I did the Ramsey one. Short cross on Ramsey. That was horrific.
There was the Son on what's this Everton player's name?
Gomez.
Gomez as well.
Oh, it's anytime you see the bone sticking.
Bones,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think Eduardo's like the first time I remember
I
seeing
remember
that.
that was really big when we
Yeah.
were a bit younger.
Yeah, that was awful. That's a really good question, though. I haven't really thought of that. Any challenge from Stoke back in the day,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I used to love that though.
Yeah,
That's what football's about,
Physical,
man.
physical.
It's not part of the game anymore. That challenge on Parma on the weekend wasn't very nice.
So
in the
indeed.
Liverpool game as well.
What
Yeah,
Didi did this
the
weekend was,
scrape down
was
there.
dirty.
Yeah, dirty, very dirty.
That was a
And then he got a
horrible
yellow card
tackle.
for it.
Yeah, that was a
That's what
red
the
for
game's
me.
about, man.
You like that sort of
Yeah.
stuff? Nah.
Yeah, a little bit. I like, when you get a tackle like that and then they start fighting on the pitch. That's what football's about.
Yeah, but everyone's getting carded nowadays for this.
Just stop carding them. Just the main. If something bad, someone throws a punch, a headbutt, or whatnot. Obviously, red cards. Yeah.
I think
Just let it fly, man.
worst Pickford Van Dijk.
Oh,
That's one of the worst because in
It's
terms
a
of
very
the
bad
effects
tackle,
that
but
happened
yeah,
after.
of course.
What happened after that?
I can't believe they didn't give a penalty for that.
They didn't give a penalty.
Do you know how insane that was?
They literally made up the excuse. Nah, he was offside, so we're just gonna.
Nonsense.
What is
He
that?
attacked him.
Do you know what I wish? Yeah? Do you guys? When they have Mike Dean on the matches, yeah, and this guy is like, he'll give his opinion on the challenge. VAR will overturn it, and his opinions change so quickly.
straight away.
I'd
Straight away.
love to have seen him do commentary for that challenge. I'd
nasty.
love to have seen the justification.
And the last one that my brother used to speak about is Djibril Cissé. When he broke his leg, they snapped his leg. He was playing for Liverpool. They snapped his leg in two. It's one of you saw it on screen. It's one of the dirtiest injuries in Premier League history.
I think I remember seeing that on the back of the newspaper. I don't think I remember.
I think it was
watching
against
it.
Blackburn.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
They were a bit of a nasty team,
Yeah,
They had a
Blackburn,
nasty
yeah.
streak in them.
Yeah, they had some ballers though, but nasty team.
Luckily, we don't get many of those massive leg break injuries in the Premier League anymore. I haven't seen one in a while.
Yeah.
And I feel like they should have increased, considering that these lot wear fucking the size of
Yeah.
the shin pads they wear now are like the size of a
one,
nail.
But no one really goes off the ground.
Yeah.
Like most tackles, even like the really bad ones, are intentioned as tackles. Whereas back in the day,
They used to go for
people were doing things that were not. They didn't care about where the ball went.
If my captain was playing today, there'd be a lot more injuries.
Roy Keane versus Haaland.
Yeah, Roy Keane has a few.
Roy Keane versus Haaland.
No, no,
Roy Keane
that's
has-
assault.
Yeah,
He'd
let's
have,
try-
he'd
let's
have
try-
100 more bodies if he played now. He'd have 100 more bodies.
Roy Keane wouldn't make. He would have to really stamp that out of his game.
Yeah,
because
turn it down.
Him as an 18-year-old, he comes into the team. They VAR him in the first game, red card. He's
done.
never
Done.
making it again.
He's done.
In this United, imagine if Roy Keane had Roy Keane doing punditry on him as an 18-year-old. He'll never make it.
Some of the tackles like Scholes and Gerrard did as well. They were
Nasty.
nasty work.
Nasty.
But I think
stuff.
back then you had to have that streaky. Like they
Literally.
used to say it like, "Oh, this guy, he thought he could do me. I'm gonna do him." Like,
That's what it was.
that's
the
what
culture,
on.
isn't it?
But that's life in general. It's
Yeah,
like
that's
sometimes
what it is.
you have to,
You have to
like,
throw it
impose
back.
yourself.
I can't. I have to tell you, it's not going to be easy today.
Yeah, for sure.
You may win, but I'll make it hard for you at least.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
Whereas you got some centre midfielders now. They just let everything go past that. Christian Eriksen, man. Let me see some bite. Let me see something.
It can't work in today's game. But
You look at the likes of Sancho pulling out of challenges.
Oh my god.
leave Sancho alone, man.
Everyone's leaving him alone, even his manager.
He's been ill apparently. For the
Yeah,
last
that's
few weeks,
yeah.
but we'll get to that another
That's
day.
how it
So
starts,
happy
innit?
he's not our problem anymore, man.
We need to wrap up anyway. Thank you lot for listening to the Rondo. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. He's ready to go home. So yeah, we're done.
Peace.